Hello everyone, my name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. Hey everyone, I realize I have criminally neglected Blue Oyster Cult. I did some in the, I did Secret Treaties as review number 38 or 58 or something, somewhere in there. And then, I did Fire of Unknown Origin, 130, so it was almost literally 100 later. And here we are, close to 500, and I haven't gotten back to Blue Oyster Cult again. So as I said, I've already covered Secret Treaties. The next two reviews are going to be the other two albums from the black and white period. So we got the actual Blue Oyster Cult album, and then we got the second one, which is Tyranny and Mutation. So the reason it's called the black and white period is the first three albums, the artwork was done in black and white. Today we're specifically looking at the very first Blue Oyster Cult album. As you can see, I got it used for $6. Wow, was that a deal, man. And this is also remastered with bonus tracks. All three of these are remastered with bonus tracks, but the fact that I got this one used for $6, great deal. One of the best deals ever. If you find it used for $6, buy it. Alright. That's $6 Canadian too. So, if you find it even for $6 US used, buy it. Alright. Transmedic. Okay, so Blue Oyster Cult, complicated band in a sense. They're a very kind of niche sort of band. Huge kind of fantasy sci-fi, really on the sci-fi, really on the sci-fi part of that. I mean, sci-fi and fantasy can overlap, but not Dungeons and Dragons. More like heavy metal, like the comic book heavy metal, more that type of fantasy when we get into fantasy. Band that was in the soundtrack for heavy metal, perfect one. All right. Transmaniacon MC. Songs of some of their the names of some of their songs, man. Or the content of the songs or whatnot. I really enjoy this song. It opens up the album beautifully, gets it going. Wonderful start to the album. I'm on the lamb, but I ain't no sheep. That's an album track. Then came The Last Days of May. I don't mind that one too much, but it's still kind of like an album track to me. Stairway to the Stars. This one's got some real kind of get up and go to it. Really kind of feels like it's kicking it into gear. This is one that I'm not sure if it was. I'm not going to pretend I'm a Blue Oyster Cult aficionado or anything like that. I know their music. I know little bits that I've read here and there. That's it. Stairway to the Stars is not one of the songs that I've ever really known from Blue Oyster Cult, but I really should have known from Blue Oyster Cult. Really should get more radio play in that, and I think one of the reasons it doesn't is because it is an older song. It is a product of its production, so even with this being remastered, you can only take a remastering so far. It sounds really good, it's beautiful, it's crystal clear, but the sound itself always kind of sounds like it's coming through a mono speaker as opposed to coming through a stereo speaker. That's the best way to describe it. Before the Kiss, a Red Cap. Yeah, it's alright. Screams. Alright. She's as beautiful as a foot. Okay. Alright. Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll. This is one of those ones that most people tend to know from Blue Oyster Cult. Right off the first album. This is their first coming out big, heavy Godzilla. Just big, heavy, monstrous, thundering. Genesis even, to a small degree, of what would probably later become Godzilla. Really dig on Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll. I dig it more now than I used to dig it, and I dig it more now because I appreciate the sound more now, whereas my bias used to be what I specifically mentioned. It has a very kind of thin mono sound coming through it as opposed to a big, lush, full stereo sound. Workshop of the Telescopes. This one's really fun to listen to. I actually really enjoy this one while the album's playing. It's not a song I think of too much on its own, but it really, really is enjoyable while the album's playing. Redeemed. Great way to close out the album. I thought it was really cool. I like the narrative and the storyline behind it, with the character being redeemed and whatnot. Classic mythology, too. It's not like some major, you know. So that makes up the full first album. And, see, this album originally came out in 1972. So for 1972... the production was a little bit dated. I will say that. The sound on it's a little bit dated as a sound that to me sounds more like the 60s. Less of the 70s. And that's not the sound of the music. That's the sound to the production itself. The mix itself, the recordings, whatnot. The overall layout to all the songs themselves are great songs. This is one of those albums where, you know, you kind of wish the band had gone back and re-recorded, you know, the original core band went back and re-recorded it when the technology got better, just because it could have sounded better than it did. But it is a great piece of history on its own. The fact that it's also in black and white, the art is very simple and very complex at the same time. I very much love this artwork here. Here, let me take it out so you quit seeing the $6 sticker there. Oh, actually, hold on. All right, there's the artwork of the back, just without the little Blue Oyster Cult emblem in there. Really, well, a variation of it. It's not quite the same. This one's got the tracks going down. I love the use of the leading lines. I love the circle capturing it. You know, everything about that is just really, really cool to me. Even in its simplicity, it's brilliantly executed. The pencil work that would have probably been done on that might have been done with pens, might have been done in inks. Either way, beautiful, beautiful. If you run across this album for $6, pick it up. Oh my God. I downplay it a little bit because a lot of the tracks are kind of album, because there are kind of album fillers. This is the band's first album, so they were kind of getting out there. They were kind of getting their feet, you know. A lot of these songs they've been playing for years, so they're well put together, they're well rehearsed and whatnot. But they just... This is, to me, is history. This is, out of the 3 black and white albums, Secret Treaties is definitely my favorite, but this is something special on its own. All right, folks, rambled on long enough. Let me know what you think. That's what the comment section's for. On your way down to the comments, you will see in the description there, a link to the TWA, which is the Trampoline Wrestling Association. Please check that out. That is one of my major projects. Keeps me on my toes, keeps me busy. A lot of work going into the 2nd season, which will be dropping soon. And then, what else we got going on? Oh yeah, in the links, there's also a link to the Howling Odyssey, which is where my music endeavors are. Patreon, which is where you can leave me some money if you like. I like money. Allows me to buy $6 used CDs and review them. Leave me money. Sorry, folks. Let's just have some fun. There is a like button, a subscribe button, and a bell for notifications. If you could please hit those. Peace, love, take care.